Hey everybody, what's going on? Gigs here with some Awaken Chaos Era. Today we're going to be talking about Rogge. He is another elite that I think is in the running for the strongest elite in the game. He is up there with Charles. He is such an impactful champ. Again, another fairly simple kit, but his impact in action is hard to match. So we're going to talk about his skills, we're going to talk about his gear, and then we're going to take him around and show him off a little bit around the game, because I think reading his skills, you don't get the full effect. I know when I was new and I just went through and read his skills, I was like, whatever. When you see this dude in action, it's going to change your opinion. You are going to want to build one. I think kind of like Charles, even if you aren't free to play, even if you are using legendaries and everything else you get, I still think Rogge is a champ that's well worth building. And he can be real nasty, especially with some later game gear on him. I'm on my Elites Only account. For anybody that's new here and doesn't know, I have a daily series where I play my Elites Only account. And it's Elites and below, and it's 100% free to play. So this is not going to be an instance where I farm a bunch of really good gear with legendaries and then put it on Elites and show you how amazing they are. This is everything that I've obtained here, I've obtained with Elites Only. And it's 100% free to play, okay? So I'll card to that over there if you want to, if you're interested in checking out the series and kind of seeing how we progress and how these champs contribute and grow as we go. But moving on to Rogge, his stats are pretty solid. He's got B tier health, B tier defense, and that's honestly all we're really worried about with him for now is health. Same with Charles in defense. A little bit later, you're going to want to start to focus some other things. But for now, all we're really concerned about is health. Early and mid game, probably only concerned about health, right? Maybe some focus for the taunt, but for the most part, we just want to tank him up. He's got a trait where he counterattacks. If he's ascended, it does damage equal to 10% of his max health. This is really nice. When you see this in action, you're going to be impressed. If you've ever encountered him in arena, some people like to put a cheeky defense up that's like just Rogge and Charles. So you'll see it and you think, oh, that's just two elites. I can jump in and knock that out real quick. And then you can't. Not only can you not kill them, but every time you hit Rogge, you just take such punishment. You get punished so hard every time you hit Rogge, you'll end up killing yourself hitting him. And that's one of my favorite things to do with Rogge is make enemies kill themselves hitting him, right? He doesn't even have to do anything. He just has to be present, especially against AoE enemies, because every time they attack, they have to hit him, and he's going to counterattack, and he's going to punish them real bad. So he's a great counter to like Hydri, Nathalia, some of these heavy AoE nukers in arena, especially the water ones, but even the fire ones, again, because he's just doing damage based on a number of his health. It's not like an A1 where he's going to be punished, you know what I mean? It's just damage going back. So it's really solid. It's really great. He's a great counter to AoE nukers, great counter to water damage dealers especially. Pretty nice in arena, great in PvP. Another champ you can pretty much take everywhere in the game. This alone is worth building him, but it gets better. On his A1, we've got a taunt. It's a 50% chance to taunt. It's not as reliable as someone like Charles who has the 100%, but honestly, I think that's fair. I think if Rogge had 100% taunt on his A1, he would be broken. He would just be able to lock someone down into having to kill themselves. You know what I mean? So I think a coin flip is fine. I'm fine with the coin flip. I think anything higher than that, he'd probably be a little bit more broken than maybe he potentially already is. So I think a 50% taunt there is fine. Again, it's real nice. You drop a taunt on somebody, they have to hit you, they have to take that counterattack damage, and a lot of the times they will kill themselves hitting you. It's really, really satisfying. He's got some sustain built into his A2 here. He does 100% damage to an enemy and regens 30% of his health. The damage here is not so substantial. Maybe if you put some crit stats on him, it would be better, but for how we're using him here, it's not really much damage at all. The point of this one is the heal, and that it's a 2-turn cooldown. It's a third of his health basically on a 2-turn cooldown. He can keep himself alive pretty well. He's got pretty good sustain here. Since it's not like based on his health or anything. It doesn't scale, so the worse you have him built, the worse it is. It's a third of his health bar every time he uses a skill. So that's pretty nice. It's a percentage in that way. Great skill. A3, 100% damage to an enemy. This attack deals bonus damage based on this character's max health. This hit right here is just insane. This does so much damage. 5 turns is a long cooldown. But when you see how much damage it does, again, you'll understand. If it got too much shorter than this, he'd probably be, again, closer to to being broken. This is just really, really big damage here. And it's really nice because all you really have to do with this dude is focus HP. And then if you want to, you can add some focus to him to help him land that taunt, but you don't really even have to, right? It's going to be a flip of the coin anyway on whether or not it procs. So I wouldn't sacrifice a bunch of focus for HP, but if you can work it in, then I think it's really nice to have on him. So let's talk about gear. You'll see it's going to be fairly straightforward. It's all Terra. We want his HP up. We want the ult to do big damage, and we want to punish enemies that have to hit him as absolutely much as we can, okay? Those are the two big things he's contributing to the fight, so we want to get the absolute most out of them as we can. So we've got Terra sets on him, and we're looking for HP percentage substats, okay? HP percentage substat, HP percentage substat. We didn't get the roll there, but it's there. HP percentage on the boots, HP percentage on the ring, HP percentage on the amulet. If you can find some focus in your substats, great. If you've got really good HP stats everywhere here, and you've got a good focus amulet you want to put on him, fine. If you want to lean into the taunt a bit to make sure that every time it procs, he's able to land it, fine. I would not encourage you not to do that, but it's worth testing just to see. So if you've got a good HP amulet and a good focus amulet, I would play around with them a little bit on both so that you can see how much damage are you going to be sacrificing to have that focus, and do you feel like he's landing that taunt enough to justify missing out on that damage on a very regular basis, right? My personal advice, just worry about the HP. I don't think the HP is guaranteed every time. It's a guaranteed damage on the counterattack. It's guaranteed damage on the A3. With focus, it's a flip of the coin. It's 50% whether or not he's even going to proc the taunt. You know what I mean? So I think for consistency's sake, HP. If you want to lean into the taunt a little more, you can go focus. But that's it. That's all you really have to focus on with this guy. Just get his HP up, and he's going to blow your mind. I'm telling you. Not hard to ascend because he's an elite. Not hard to skill up because he's an elite. We got all his glyphs done. He needs very basic sets. You can farm Tulpa for a little while. I've been in Tulpa 11 for, a little bit now, farming some gear, and we've been able to get this stuff on him. So it's by no means is any of this crazy gear, but he's decent, right? We've got him at 21,500 HP, and then, again, nothing else. Not worried about anything else right now. So that's a quick look at his stats. Some advice on how to gear him, which is basically shoot that HP up through the roof as absolutely high as you can get it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump over and take a look at him in action, right? I'm going to take him into arena. We'll take him into some other places. You can see what I'm talking about with this counterattack and with the damage this ult does and stuff. So I'll see you in arena. All right, I found what I think will be a pretty good team to show him off on. We've got a Nathalie here, like I mentioned, right? The AoE nuke. We've got Evra, who also does AoE attacks. And then we've got Zatlux, who's a pretty big single target damage dealer. Now, I'm in Silver 3 right now. Sometimes the teams are geared much better than I'm expecting them to be. It's very possible we're going to jump in here and lose this fight. But the point is to show you Rogge in action. So we're going to jump in and see if we can't take this team out, okay? We're running Rogge. We're running Rhaenyra for some support. We're running Anna, and we're running Charles. Again, I've done a video on Charles. I'll card to that over there if you want to check it out too. Charles is another must build in my opinion, and I talk a lot about the synergy of these two. They'll probably get their own video at some point where I specifically talk about it, but you'll see a little bit of it here. They have good element balance here, and they both are so tanky but can output some damage. They're very fun to use together. So let's jump in here and see how this fight goes. I'm gonna slow it down so that you can see when Rogge takes hits how much damage he sends back. So Evra's gonna AoE here. Watch Evra's health after she's done hitting us here. Right? That's the punishment she takes for hitting us, and then she bonus attacks. She takes more punishment for hitting us. Right? These champs that do these bonus attacks, it's really, really rough on them. Nathalie, again, she's going to hit us AoE here. She's going to take some punishment. Oh no, she didn't AoE. I thought she was going to AoE. So what we can do now, we'll shield up and buff. We're going to allow Charles to do a little more damage. Hopefully he'll target Rogge. It's always nice when he targets Rogge. No, he went after Anna that time. Is what it is. All right, so for Charles, why don't we Why don't we just taunt Nathalia? Why don't we do that? And then for Anna, we could drop a taunt on Zatlux, and she can put up block damage, so she can pull his attention for one turn. Well, and not take damage. She can pull his attention for 2 turns. All right, now watch Rogge's damage on this A3 here, okay? Why don't we hit Evra with it? That's so insane from a champ that all you have to do is get his HP up. When you're thinking about the fact that you don't have to get his crit rate up, you don't have to get his crit damage up, all you have to do is get his HP up, and he gets to output damage like that. That is really nice. Really, really nice. Why don't we stun him? Just cuz. And we should cleanse and heal her, I guess. Because Charles has a little bit of sustain on his own here. Actually, why don't we go after her and put some shield on Charles? Pretty good damage out of him there too. We'll get an attack down and stuff on you, I guess. So Rogge hasn't taken much damage yet, so I can't show off the heal, but we can see if we can get a taunt up on somebody. We got the taunt, so Nathalia may very well kill herself hitting Rogge this time. It would not blow my mind if she killed herself hitting him. She got a bonus turn and had to hit Rogge, and she almost killed herself. And she very nearly killed herself hitting him. So now we can pretty much just pick these guys off now. I'm gonna let Anna kill Evra. I'm gonna taunt Zatlux, I think. Oh, he resisted that high resistance Zatlux build. All right, he's got an attack down. We're not sweating him too much. And he hit Rogge, took some damage. We can go ahead and let Rogge heal himself. We don't really need to yet, but we're fine. All right, Zatlux might get to kill Anna here. He didn't target Anna because he's goofy. Let's see if we can't taunt him again. He's still resistant to taunt. He's dead. He's dead now, though. And now it's just him. Again, it'd be real nice if he would taunt Rogge for us, or target Rogge so we could show him off, but maybe we'll land one here. No. We can hit auto now. We're not in any danger. If he kills everyone else, he's gonna lose to Rogge. You know what I mean? That's just the way it goes. He is out of luck here. So we can auto it out. But you see what I'm talking about, right? Especially with champs like Nathalia and Evra and Hydri, where she can proc those AoE bonus attacks. The more RNG, in theory, favors them with the bonus attacks, the more it really hurts them when you've got Rogge on the team, because every time they do it, they're taking a chunk out of their health from Rogge's counterattack. And again, mine, you can get his HP so much higher than I have mine right now. He's not insane, right? We are probably just transitioning into the mid game right now. So as we get a little bit deeper in these dungeons and I'm able to get full 6-star gear on him and get some good HP substats, these counterattacks are going to get worse and worse for these squishier attackers like Nathalia and Evra and stuff. And it's just going to continue to get worse for them. So really cool mechanic. It's a great way to push up in arena. If you're struggling in arena dealing with some of these high damage dealing teams, you can throw Rogge in to counter them, and he does a really good job of that. So now we'll jump over and take a look at him in some PvP environments. I figure Void Tower might be as good a place as any to just let you see him in action. What I'm gonna do, we're on 50 right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna jump in with this team, and I'm just gonna hit auto and probably even let it go full screen and just let you watch the run in auto. Just keep an eye on Rogge. Keep an eye on every time he gets hit, how much damage he's sending back. Keep an eye on when he A3s, how much damage he drops. See if he places taunts. Watch when he heals himself. Just try to keep an eye on everything he's doing, because he is a huge part of why we are able to auto as deep into Void Tower as we can. I'm pretty sure we can get up to 80 with it before we ever have to touch it. And if I'm not mistaken, we might get through 80 as well. And again, Rogge is a very big part of why we're able to do that. So we'll go full screen now. I'll let you watch this Void Tower run, and we'll be back in a sec. All right, there we go. Again, it's probably a little bit more impactful in the higher stages, but you get the idea, right? He, as a strictly an HP champ, look at the damage compared to Connor and Charles, right? Zachary is obviously the one pumping out the damage. He's got the AoE, he's got the trait, he's definitely going to be our biggest damage dealer. Rogge did, you know, what? Over 4 times what these guys did, a little over 4 times what they did. And he probably did a lot of it just from getting hit. Just from the damage he sends back out from getting hit, right? He's such a cool champ, such a problem. Can be tough to counter. You have to be real careful about how you deal with this guy if you come up against him in arena. Because you never know how tanky he is. You never know how much you're going to be punished for hitting him. You know what I mean? So really cool champ. And I think that's a good enough showcase, right? He's another one that's good everywhere. He's good in arena. He's good in adventure. He's good in Void Tower. He's good in bounty hunts. He's good. He can be good for a little bit even in Guild Boss. I don't know that he's going to be part of any optimal teams, but that counterattack that he does every time the team gets hit is pretty nice. And then again, his A3 pumps out some pretty decent damage. So if you're earlier in the game and you don't have a Guild Boss team yet, you could throw him in and he will help your damage. Again, I don't think that he's going to be any part of any optimal team moving forward, but if you're newer and looking for a way to pump up your damage, he's a very easy way to do it because he only needs 1 stat to be effective, right? And that makes your life much easier when you're earlier in the game and your gear is very limited. He needs 1 stat that you can get from the earliest of the early game sets. You know what I mean? Terra is just about as early game as it gets. So very easy champ to build. As far as how hard he is to build and the impact he has, it's so imbalanced. He might be the easiest champ to build that has the biggest impact for the effort in the game. You know what I mean? Absolutely fantastic champ. So I think regardless of what you're doing, where you're at in the game, I think he's another one that you could justify building no matter your spending level or where you're at. He's a really, really cool champ, even if just to do some fun things with him in arena, just to piss some people off with the defense or something, you know what I mean? I think he's cool for that. So that's it. Hopefully I convinced you. Hopefully you learned something if you were looking for a guide on him or something. I definitely think he's worth a build. One of the top elites in the game for sure. If you have any other tips about Rogge that you want to drop below, if you're using him in different ways, you've got maybe some more mid-game or late-game tips for him, builds, comps that you're doing, any of that stuff in the comments would be great. I'm all about you guys helping each other out down there. And I'd be interested to know as well, right? I'm only as far in the game with him as I am. So I'd be interested to know if some of you are much later game, the things that you're doing with him, what you're getting out of him. So that's it. I'm going to get out of here. Hope it helped. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time.